Hey everyone, it's Triple Mango Threat, and today we're going over the cards to add and remove from Dungeons of Death. Let's jump right into it. Our commander is Sefris of the Hidden Ways. Sefris says whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, venture into the dungeon. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever you complete a dungeon, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So Sefris only wants creature cards put into our graveyard, venturing the dungeon and bringing those creatures back to the battlefield. So there's a lot of ways to fill our graveyard with creatures with tortured existence. We can pay a black, discard a creature card, then return a creature from our grave to our hand. And this is nice because we can do this over and over, completing a lot of dungeons just for one black mana, but remember we can only do that once each turn from our commander. Since we have a lot of creatures going into the grave, Sir Conrad would be an awesome addition. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, we can deal 1 damage to each opponent, and over time this can be a lot of damage if left unchecked. Auric Lord Mage is one that I'm surprised about with the price. It's only 34 cents, and we can tap it to search for a card in our library and put it into our grave. This is really helpful because we can venture off of this, and it's a possible target to bring onto the battlefield later. Whisper Blood Liturgist. We can sacrifice 2 creatures to get 1 back to the battlefield from our grave, so this is still promoting what our commander wants to do, except we'll only get 1 trigger from our commander because again it only happens once each turn. Monastery Siege is going to help us draw an additional card at our draw step, then discard a card, and this is really sweet because we can discard a creature card. Haven Gold Lich is going to let us cast creatures from our grave, and then it gains all the activated abilities, but more importantly, it's letting us get our creatures back. Fleshbag Marauder is decent removal by making each player sacrifice a creature when it ETBs, and this is triggering our commander for more ventures into the dungeon. Factor Fiction. I really like this one because it has a lot more power in this deck. It also makes our opponents have to think about what piles they're going to make, because we can discard a creature and later get it back from our commander. Carrion Feeder. This is a great sack outlet, and it gets bigger with each creature it sacrifices. We can even sacrifice itself if we need to. The last card I would add would be Doom Whisperer. It's a huge creature being a 6/6 flyer and trample, and we can pay 2 life to surveil, which means we're going to look at the top 2 cards of our library, and we can put any number of them in our grave and the rest on top of our library. So we can put a lot of creatures into our graveyard with this one. As for the cards to remove, I got rid of some of the cards that had us roll dice. I didn't see these as any help to what the deck wanted to do, so I removed them. Min Wily Illusionist. While this is a neat card, we aren't focused on illusions, and we want to work with our graveyard instead of putting permanents from our hand onto the battlefield based on the illusion's power. Minimus Containment. This is a card that I do not like. We can enchant a non-land permanent and it becomes a treasure, while our opponents can sacrifice this, so it's not very effective like other auras that do similar things but much better. Necrotic Sliver. Now we aren't a Sliver tribal, but I understand it can be used as removal. I just don't want to pay an additional 3 mana to destroy a permanent. Nihil Lure is a cool card, but it doesn't fit the theme of what we're trying to do, so I removed this one. Propaganda, while this is a nice card, I didn't think it was for this deck, because our opponents attacking us could be an opportunity to block with our creatures, and our creatures might die, and this would cause more triggers from our commander. Rod of Absorption. This cares about players casting instants and sorceries, and then we can later cast those spells that were exiled from this with mana value X or less, X being the amount of mana that we pay and tapping this. The last card is Wand of Orcus. I really like this one, but not for this deck. When the equipped creature attacks or blocks, zombies we control are going to gain Death Touch until end of turn, but the best part is that whenever this equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, we get to create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, and this is a really sweet card, but just not for this deck. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to purchase any of these cards, you can use the TCG link down below to help out the channel at no additional cost to you. Thank you to the patrons, and whenever you become a $10 patron, you can see your name at the end of these videos and get an exclusive Ultra Sleeve each month. Be sure to comment down below what you thought of this episode and subscribe for more Mango content. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.